All right, everybody, welcome back to my second YouTube video for the 2020 presidential election. I'm your host, Casey Wells, an independent write-in candidate, and I want to make one quick clarification about my first YouTube video. In order for every American citizen to win the $40,000 In the Fed giveaway, I must become president of the United States in 2020. Also, you must have became an American citizen before 2008, when the Fed distributed the $12 trillion I talked about in the first video. But before we get started, I'm going to get some mood music going first. And so, let me click back. All right, here we go. So there's a lot of good people out there doing some really good videos about the Federal Reserve, and if you don't know about the Federal Reserve System, go online, go to YouTube and research it a little bit. Type in the Federal Reserve System and any one of the names you see here. A lot of good people out there providing some really good information on the Fed. And so to give you a little overview, here's some of the information you might find on there. Well, the Fed was passed in 1913 on December 22nd during Christmas vacation when many of the senators were out of office. The Fed controls our currency, they control interest rates, they have no transparency, no government oversight, they distribute trillions of dollars with no accountability, they cause inflation, they devalue the dollar, they bail out banks, they collude with the CFR, they encourage deficit spending, and they're just robbing the American public blind. They've broken all trust, literally. But let me tell you this, we got to do something about it. And so I'm asking you, I got this question right here. What do we do about the Federal Reserve System, people? Work with me. Type in something. Give me some feedback. Do we A, put them in jail and all associates with the Federal Reserve in jail? Or do we B, investigate them thoroughly and make that information public? Or do we C, have the Treasury issue currency by itself? We don't need the Federal Reserve System. All they do is charge our government interest. Then we, the American public, have to pay back to them. And they get that through our income taxes. That ain't right. Nah, I'm going to cover that in episode 3. Or do we D, send in the United States Army to acquire all the assets of the Federal Reserve? This is how I get to the $40,000 in the Fed giveaway. Let me tell you, because, oh, wait a minute. Or do we E? Excuse me, please, if you have a better suggestion or idea about what we should do about the Fed, please fill in the blank and let me know. Let's get some discourse going here. I'm going to need to have a good strategy going into the 2020 election of exactly what I'm going to do about the Fed once I get into office. And it's time that we begin to develop that right here, right now. Maybe you could become part of my cabinet if you have some good comments and people like it. Hopefully the best comments and the best ideas will get thumbs up to the top and we could come up with some real solutions. But I'm going to show you one more chart before we go. It's this one. This one blows my mind. I'm not going to talk about these guys too much because that's going to get a little overwhelming for this short video. But here, I'm showing you that the value of the dollar, how much it's declined since the Federal Reserve took over as the primary distributors of our cash. And over here, this chart shows the assets of the Federal Reserve System, where in 1913 they had no assets. Now they have, wow, look, it has just exploded since 2008. I often thought that this chart indicated right here in 2008 when all this red just, blew up. I speculated that that was mortgages, home mortgages, because whenever people, foreclosed on their homes, who takes over? The banks. And then what, all those assets go to the bank. And that suspicion was actually confirmed when I researched the Federal Reserve website and I found this data sheet that shows that mortgages are their most valuable asset of all their assets. So come on, guys, really, this has got to stop. Help me. Just write my name in, Casey Wells, in 2020, and I'm going to take this system out with your help. Teamwork makes the dream work. Here we go. All right. That's all I got to say about that.